Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is gonna be part number 2 of bagging the E30. Just focus on the management, doing like the plumbing, wiring, all the fun stuff that comes with installing bags. So I'm gonna be doing my trunk setup right now. I'm gonna start off with that, just do the whole basic setup of it. I already kind of have it laid out right here on the workbench. This is the setup that I'm gonna go with. I want to mount it inside where the spare tire goes, because I want to keep as much trunk space as possible, because I'm always like hauling parts. I'm always using my trunk, so I figured that I would just mount it inside of there. So as you guys see, I already have pretty much the basic layout down right here on the workbench, but I am following a YouTube video from Luke Anderson. He did a really cool setup like this. So this is where I got the whole idea of getting this circular wooden board right here that's going to be going inside of the spare tire wheel well. I think it's a really cool setup if you want to keep as much trunk space as possible, but it is a really small tank, and I might upgrade to a bigger one later on. But just for the sake of trying to keep it inside of the spare tire wheel well, I'm gonna have to go with a small tank like that. But for right now, I'm gonna go with that setup, since this is kind of like my only car. I do have the X3, but it's still at the paint shop, so I'm just gonna go with a setup like this and just run it until I decide to change it. So yeah, I got this seamless tank from Bag Riders. It's a really nice tank. I like the look of it, very simplistic, but my only complaint is that it does not come with any fittings whatsoever. At least mine didn't come with any fittings. I'm not sure if they all do, but that kind of sucks. We're not going to be able to power it up. I mean, we can, but you know, the air is just going to be leaking out. So today we're just going to set up everything, get it inside the car, run the wiring, possibly get power to the compressor, the manifold. So yeah, that's pretty much the setup. Running one compressor, 3P manifold, got the air lines right there, and we got this piece of wood that I got from Lowe's for about like 30 bucks, and that's gonna allow us to mount it inside of the trunk. We're gonna drill a hole through the middle so it seats in perfectly. I got this PVC pipe from like Home Depot. I think it's I want to say a 2-inch. Yeah, it's a 2-inch PVC pipe. This is gonna go on top of it. We're gonna cut it down there, and then we're gonna secure it with the factory thing that holds the spare tire down there, so it's not jumping up and down when we hit like a speed bump and stuff. So that's the idea behind this. In order to make the super big hole that we need to make in the middle, I'm gonna use a hole saw bit to drill that hole out. I have a full kit. If you guys want to take a look at it, this is what I'm gonna be using in order to drill the hole in the center, and then we can seat it inside of there. All right, so I just finished up mocking up the trunk setup, and it honestly looks a lot cooler than I actually anticipated. Like the whole PVC thing, I was really iffy about it, and I thought it was gonna look ugly, but now it looks like it's kind of a part of like the whole management setup that I have going on. It looks like it's a part of like an air filter or something like that, but it looks really cool. It doesn't look like it's an actual PVC pipe holding down the piece of wood. Now it's time to finalize it, so I'm gonna take it out, put it on the workbench, and then just bolt down the air tank, compressor, manifold, and I guess our trunk setup is pretty much complete. I'm pretty stoked on how this came out, so let's finalize it. All right, so today's a few days later. I've been thinking about how I'm gonna route all the wiring stuff because I really like the trunk setup. The trunk setup is really, really cool, and I think it looks really cool, but it's not gonna look cool if we don't like kind of wire tuck it and just make it look nice as far as like the whole wiring setup goes. So I've been kind of thinking about how I'm gonna set up the entire wiring, and I think I'm gonna have everything inside of here, inside of this panel here. So I'm probably gonna remove it and I'm gonna try to zip tie it somewhere there, probably just roll it around. I think I'm just gonna bring out all the air lines through a hole right here for the wheel well, which, you know, I was gonna do initially anyway for the rear bags, but I was gonna do the 2 front ones through the inside of the car. But I think if I just do one hole here and bring out all 4 air lines and then run them underneath the car, it's gonna look pretty cool, and it's definitely gonna clean things up, and that's the look that I want to go for. So if we're able to do that, I think the trunk setup is gonna look pretty cool. So I'm gonna remove this carpet panel here and just take it off and see what we could actually do with the wiring harness in here. So let's take this out. All right, so I want to show you guys the process that I've going on so far. I think it's coming out super, super sick. I bought these wire holders from Amazon, and it's helping out so much, and it looks super clean. So as you guys see, I already have it started right here, and I got most of this already held on to the side of it, and now I just got to do the side right here where I'm gonna probably just roll it around, all the excess wire and stuff like that. But it's coming out really good. As you guys see, I have one wire holder right here, I got another one right there, and I got another one right there holding the relay. And I got another one right. These are the wire holders that I'm using. I got these from Amazon. Super, super cool. They're only like $7, I think, but it's really, really helping out with what I'm trying to do. So definitely recommend that you guys check these out. I'm gonna leave a link down below if you guys want to buy these. But super cool. They come with zip ties. Has a 3M backing to it, and then it has like holes on every single corner where you put the zip tie through, and then it holds whatever you're trying to do. If you're doing like a wire tuck like I am, you pretty much just zip tie the wire to the body or whatever you put it on, and cleans it up very well, coming out really nicely so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of it. I'm probably gonna have a lot of excess wire right here, so it's probably gonna be a little bit more work, and I'm probably gonna use a lot more, but still shouldn't be that bad. And I'll probably stop, I want to say, before I get to the grommet right there, and I think that will be it, and we'll be pretty much done. I'll probably do the same thing with the airlines as well, and I think that'll come out super clean. So let's go ahead and finish this up. This is all the excess wire that's for the battery. Obviously some cars have their battery in the front, so that's why you have so much of it if you have your battery in the back like I do. But I just brought it back around, looped it, and then I put a cable holder, and then I brought it along the edge all the way over here. Boom, connected to the battery, got the negative one right there, positive. And now all we need is the USB and the power cable, which is gonna go through the grommet, and then we'll run it alongside of the body harness. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Alright, so I have the 2 cables ran along the side now. Ignition wire, USB cable. It's going to go through the side of the carpet just like how I wanted it. Boom, like that. And then the pink one, which is the ignition wire, is going to go out through the front. We're going to pull it out through the firewall, and that's going to get tapped into the fuse box. And then the USB cable is obviously going to go around the steering column, pull it out through the center console. That's why I have it off right now, and that's going to connect to the controller. Before I finish up anything in the inside right here, I need to finish up the stuff in the trunk. So there is only 2 wires that we need to connect, and those are for the compressor, the ones that run from the harness, and it's going to get power to the compressor. So the only issue right now is that the wires are not long enough, obviously. So I mean, I could possibly like connect them right here, but it's not going to look that good. So I want to tuck it around the edge right here and extend these 2 wires right there, bring them up, through the side, zip tie it, and just make it look really nice and neat so we don't really show too much wire. So I have some 10 gauge wire right here that I'm going to use to extend the wiring to the compressor. The only thing that does suck is that I don't have any black 10 gauge wire, so I'm going to use red wire for both of them, which kind of sucks because, you know, usually they're color labeled. So, you know, ground is usually the black one, power is usually the red one. So it's whatever, as long as it tucks it really nicely along the edge right here, and it kind of simplifies everything and it doesn't look like a whole rat's nest of wiring. It should look pretty nice and it should work and it should do the job. So that's all that really matters to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started right now. I'm gonna solder everything and I'll show you guys how it looks once it's all done. I lost my soldering gun. I can't find it for whatever reason, so I'm probably gonna have to buy a new one, or unless I do find it. But I got power to the management. I want to show you guys everything. It doesn't look that good right now because obviously I couldn't find my soldering gun, so temporarily I just use these tappers right here just to get power to the management and just check if everything works. So obviously I'm gonna clean this up a little bit more. I put some heat wrap on these wires right here just to clean it up and make it look a little bit better, I guess. Once it's all done, I'm gonna tuck it nice around this edge right here, bring it around the corner, and then I'm gonna bring it up right here, and then obviously this is all gonna be zip tied along the body right here. And damn, I just disconnected it, but I'll connect it back together and I'll show you guys that I have power to the management. But I also want to show you guys the front because I do have the fronts done, and I want to show you guys where I tapped into in case you guys are doing the same thing. So inside of the car, I have not tucked any of these wires right here. I just kind of ran the ignition wire through the firewall. So what I did, I don't know if you guys can see, but I have the pink wire going through this grommet right here. I just drilled a hole using my drill bit, and then I just snaked the wire through there, brought it out through the front, and as you can see, it comes out underneath the fuse box right here. I'm not really sure if you guys can see it on camera, but the grommet's right down there. Pull it out, and then obviously take off your fuse box cover. And then I have my fuse tap right here. I got this from AutoZone. I'll show you guys the one that I got. I don't think it has like any kind of part number. I don't think there's any way to distinguish, or maybe it is, but this is the one that I got from AutoZone. If you don't know what a fuse tap is, it pretty much looks like this. This is the one that came with my original AirLift 3P kit, but it's not gonna work for the E30 because the E30 uses a larger fuse like this. So I went to AutoZone and I got it. I think it was only like $7, but it has to be a larger fuse like this. And then I bought two 3 amp fuses, and they pretty much just go on top like that. And I tapped into fuse number 16. I found that that one has ignition source power, so that means that as soon as you turn on the ignition on the car with your key, the AirLift controller should turn on and it should power up the compressor and start filling up the tank. So I'll show you guys that right now. All right, so key in, ignition, and you see that the AirLift controller turned on. And you guys can hear the compressor, but yeah, we need to turn it off because we don't have any fittings on it and it's pretty much just throwing out air. But you guys see that I pretty much have power to everything. Everything is working good. Controller's turning on, compressor's turning on, so that's a really good sign. Now I just need to wait for all my fittings to come in the mail to seal up the tank, all the ports that I'm not using, and then I'll be able to fill up the tank. And then obviously I still need to get the front struts, which I believe come tomorrow. I really hope so. And I think the car should be done probably by Monday. Today is Thursday, so I really hope that everything does come in, and then we'll finish up the car. But for the most part, all the hard stuff is done. I just need to clean all this stuff up. It looks really janky right now, but once it's all done, it's gonna look really clean. And I probably won't show you guys it in this video because I need to find my soldering gun. If I do find my soldering gun, I'll show you guys it at the end, but I really cannot find it, so that really sucks. But now I'm gonna move on to the airlines, and all this stuff right here that we just put in has to come out. I know it kind of sucks, but I didn't really have a plan at first how I was doing it. I kind of just figured it out along the way, and I think that's probably gonna be the best way to actually do it, is drilling a hole straight right here in the middle, pulling out all the airlines through there. And I think that's gonna look really, really clean, and it's gonna simplify everything, and it's gonna go for that look that I'm trying to achieve. So let's take all this stuff out and let's get to work on the airlines. I got the grommet in, came out really nice. As you guys see, I'm already starting to route the airlines, but I did drill another hole right here at the bottom on accident because I wasn't thinking about the thickness of the wood. And it's a good thing that I actually put it back in there. Otherwise, I probably would have drilled that hole on the bottom as big as this one, and it would have been a mess to actually cover it. So I'm still going to cover it just so water doesn't get in and doesn't start any kind of rust down here. But still kind of sucks that I drilled an extra hole for no reason. But this came out really good. It's going to look really nice, but I still got to figure out how I'm going to route my airlines because I'm not really sure if I want everything going through the left hand side. I mean, it's only two that go to the front, but I'm not sure if I should just do it through one side or just kind of separate them, one on the left, one on the right. The rears are obviously going to be really easy since they're pretty close to the management setup, but the fronts, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do them exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and finish all the airlines, just run everything through the front to the rear, and then I'll show you guys it once it's all done and just show you guys a little layout of my airlines if you guys are following the same exact setup. So go ahead and finish it up real fast, and I'll show you guys once it's all complete. All right, so I just finished up routing all the airlines that go to the manifold, and pretty much everything is done. The only one that I am waiting for is the one that connects to the water trap. I mean, the airline is ready to go and ready to connect, but I don't have the fitting that is going to go on the other side of the water trap. But as you guys see, the airline is right here. I still need to cut it, and it's just going to connect straight right there into the water trap, and we are pretty much done. But everything is routed underneath the car, so let me get under there to show you guys how everything is routed. So obviously all the airlines are coming out of that grommet right here, and you guys see that there's two airlines right here. One goes to the front, one goes to the rear. I did heat wrap them. I had this heat wrap laying around for like 2 years since I did like the bags on my E90, but I think it's just like generic heat wrap that you could get from like AutoZone for like wiring or whatever the case is. But it works pretty good. I just heat wrapped it pretty much all the way to over here, and then connects to the steel braided airline in the back. And then the other one obviously runs all the way to the very front, which I'll show you guys right now. I know this is terrible lighting, but you guys can see the black airline right here, just zip tied to the brake lines and fuel lines. And right here, I didn't want to go too sharp on the corner because it feels like you could possibly like kink this and you could probably create a leak. So I kind of just rounded it a little bit, and I didn't put too many zip ties along there, but I mean, it's pretty good. And then it connects to the front strut, which, you know, I don't have connected right now. I just left myself some extra airline right here just to have some slack, just depending on how I'm going to run my steel braided airline as soon as I install the AirLift front kit. But I mean, it's right here and everything is good. Now the other side of the car is kind of interesting because you don't have any brake lines or fuel lines that run through this side of the car. So that's why I didn't want to do it at first. But since I did buy those 3M wire holders and stuff like that, I ended up using it, and it works really, really good. So let me show you guys the setup in the back. Obviously, coming out of the grommet from the very back, I put one of the 3M adhesive wire holders right here just to hold it along the wheel well. Obviously, I clean all this stuff up. You're going to clean up all the dirt and grease that's built up on this over the years. I used brake cleaner, and then I wiped it down with alcohol, and it's able to adhere pretty well. So I did the same thing along throughout the body. So I have another one right here. Obviously the rear one is connected to the steel braided airline. Zip tied it up here, and then it goes over the subframe through the side of the car. And I did the same thing down here. You can see it right there, and just alongside of the car. And then I have a lot of extra airline right here because I'm not even really sure where all this stuff is gonna go because I don't even have the strut installed. So once we actually get it installed, you know, I'll make the appropriate cuts and then just connect it, and we're pretty much done. But so yeah, that's pretty much how I routed all my airlines. I think they honestly came out pretty good, and this whole setup in general honestly came out a lot better than I actually expected. I started putting in a little bit more effort towards like the middle of it. Didn't really expect it to come out this good, but I mean, we wire tucked everything, and everything is gonna look so damn good once it's 100% complete. Unfortunately, I cannot complete it just yet because I'm still missing like all the fittings for the ports that I'm not using for the water trap. I'm still missing my front AirLift kit, so it's really unfortunate that I'm not gonna be able to complete the management setup, but it is going to be done in the next video, so just make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I did buy some wood stain, and I'm really excited about this. It's going to bring out the finish on the wood a little bit more, and it's just going to give it a different look, and I think it's going to look really sick. So once everything is done, you guys are going to see it in the next video, so make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. But with that being said, that's going to be the end of today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys smash that like button, drop a comment down below, and make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video. I think we're possibly going to be airing out the E30 for the very first time with the Borbit wheels. It's going to look super sick, so you guys definitely do not want to miss it. So make sure you guys are subscribed and all that other good stuff. But thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later, guys.